So it's another week and we're going to check out the compost. I can't remember if this is 3 weeks or 4 weeks of this one being done, but let's take its temperature. So it's at 120. And if you take a look at it, things have really broken down. And this week, all I've done is I added some water and then I added some of the wood pellets. I like to add the wood pellets kind of at the end. It gives me a consistency that I really like. I know that they're not going to add any seeds, but you can kind of see the lighter stuff is the pellets. And I mean, if you can see it, just for this to be 3 weeks or 4 weeks of, you know, not adding any material down, you can see how much it's gone down. You know, I really had this full and it's really gone down. Everything is broken up. You cannot tell what is what. I can see some of the mycelium, the white stuff here. And that is the bacteria that's broken down. They actually look like some kind of food material. And it looks really good. It's a little dry, but I'm probably not going to add any water since it's still doing really good. And like, this is a mango seed. Sometimes they'll actually get mushy and you can break it open. Let's see here. You can break it open. And the seed that, you know, like the mango would grow out of, you can see that there, would, you know, sometimes it's mushy. But it looks like a big bean seed. This actually won't break down anymore. But I'm super happy with this. And this is exactly why I have this machine. And, you know, it's expensive. But for me, where I live, the quantity of food scraps that I want to process and how quick it can make me compost, I mean, this, you cannot beat it. This will supply my garden with more than enough compost, my neighbors with compost. And the biggest thing is that I'm taking all that food scraps that would just sit in the landfill and actually produce methane, because it does not, food scraps do not break down in the landfill. So this is why I spent the money and got this machine. But you can just see how beautiful that is. I mean, you cannot beat that. There's not going to be any weed seeds in there because of the heat. I mean, that is just premium compost. And that is nothing but food scraps, cardboard, leaves, wood chips. I do put some of them wood pellets, old plants, paper, all things in an urban setting you can easily get. So I'm very happy. If I had more space, I would do this on a large scale. Well, let's take a look at this bin here that I actually stopped feeding. Okay, So this was the one that I was feeding and I just stopped. You can see how full it is. Just taking its temperature, see what it is at the first week. And kind of what we've learned is, you know, the second, third week is when it really starts getting hot. But it's already at 150. Now I stopped feeding it and then I put a good sized bucket of wood chips. I also been doing the new method where I had a decent amount of carbon, and then I was just, you can see that is avocado seed. And I had a decent amount of carbon in here, and then I was digging a hole like this and putting the food scraps in the center here. And you know, I don't even see any food scraps in there. But you can see there's still a lot of carbon, so a lot of leaves, a lot of wood chips, cardboard. And I will still get in here a few times a week and check the moisture in here, mix it. So here is a bio bag. This was actually, it's all twisted up, but you can just see it just breaks down to nothing. But there was some straw. I cleaned the chicken coop, so I put that in here. I mean, I don't even see any of the food scraps. I probably put food scraps in here 3 days ago. Was probably the last day. But you can see this is what it's going to look like that we're done. Just trying to get in there. You can just see this has a lot of leaves. But we'll keep an eye on it. I'll show you every week and you'll see, you know, it doesn't take long for it to go from this to you're almost finished. Okay, so I'm going to show you the new bin that I started. This bin I started a couple days ago, and what I put in there was almost a 5-gallon bucket of composted material from a composter I have in the front yard that has pretty much just old plants and cardboard. And then I probably put a 3-gallon bucket of wood chips in here, and then some paper, and then I've already put some food scraps in here. So it's not really doing anything. You can just kind of see what this stuff is already, you know, started with a good amount that's already kind of done. But I did that because the other composter doesn't heat up. So I wanted to kill all the weed seed. And since I've got so much space with the composters, I can kind of take the space with that. So, you know, and then I've already got food scraps in here. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of dig a hole in the center. So today I really am just going to add food scraps to it. You can't, it really doesn't start doing anything until it gets a certain amount of mass. So I'll just add, this is food scraps for my house. And you can see, you know, I put paper, some cooked food in here, and a little bit leftovers. And then I'll just cover it back up. And that's pretty much it with this. You know, there's not a whole lot is going on until I say, you know, you get a certain amount of mass. Then it'll start cooking. But yeah, that's the compost this week. Things are really happening. It moves quickly. And that's exactly why I have these Jora tumblers, because it just moves large quantities of mainly food scraps is what I wanted in an urban setting. So I'm very happy. Well, thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, and I would love to hear from you if you have one of these and how it's working for you. So thank you.